Am I the asshole? For paying for my daughter's wedding but not my son's? To make a long story short, my son was a teen dad. His girlfriend at the time got pregnant right after they graduated high school, and I practically raised their baby girl up until they both graduated college and got jobs. During this time I had my full focus on my grandchild, which caused me to very stupidly not pay enough attention to my daughter. We've made up since, and I've been making up for lost time with her. The issue is I'm paying for her wedding, but I never paid anything for my son's. I felt like I'd already done and spent more than enough for their family that there was no reason for me to. I got them a good gift and a chunk of change and deemed it enough. He's been causing issues with me and his sister about this and has been slandering us on Facebook, saying it's unfair how I'm paying for her wedding but not his. I understand feeling a bit bitter, but I've spent way more money keeping his family and him afloat than I have on my daughter's wedding. Honestly, paying for her wedding doesn't even seem enough for what I did. I don't know how to feel right now, and I would greatly appreciate it if anyone could give me feedback on this. Not the asshole. Add up how much you've spent taking care of him and his daughter and say if he wants you to pay for his wedding, he can pay you back for everything you've done for him. Not the asshole. Tell them you used his wedding fund to raise their child for them. Not the asshole. Your son is extremely ungrateful. You gave him his wife the opportunity to complete higher education and get good jobs while their child was lovingly cared for free, plus some that's worth 1,000,000 times more than writing a check for a party. I'm sorry you feel that my caring for your child while you and blank finished your education was not doing enough for you. Your son is ungrateful and you're definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. He's been causing issues with me and his sister about this and has been slandering us on Facebook, saying it's unfair how I'm paying for her wedding but not his. Add up the total of how much financial support you've given him, and let him know the next time he tries to slander you, you'll simply respond by posting the financial amount you gave him, and not his sister. If he wants things to be fair, he can pay that back. Not the asshole. Your son sounds very entitled and terribly immature. You provided much more support than most teen parents receive from their families. You raised your grandchild, allowing him the opportunity to go to college, receive an education, and presumably be in a better position to provide a good life for his daughter. Again, this is a luxury that many teen parents never get to realize. It is time for your son to start adulting. He is a father with responsibilities, and that starts with paying for his own wedding. Time to let him make it on his own and start giving time back to your own daughter. Not the asshole. You raised his kid. You've done enough for him. Not the asshole. It's not like you can go back in time and pay for his wedding. Also, you've done more than enough for him, and not just financially. Does he have issues with his sister? Why would he want for her to be deprived? Or he just wants to mooch more out of you? Not the asshole. Sit your son down and explain how his negligence as a father caused issues that go further than a price tag. Ask if he realizes how ungrateful and entitled he is coming across. If he wants to talk dollars and cents or currency equivalent, then explain how raising a child for years is infinitely more expensive than paying for a wedding. If he wants to continue, then tell him he is about to find out how expensive losing contact with a parent is about to be. Not the asshole. Like you said, you gave him financial support when he needed the most. You were there when it was important, because yes, I'm sorry, but a wedding is not even an obligation. He should be thanking you, not causing issues for getting more money. He's acting like a spoiled brat. You should write up an invoice for all the babysitting and financial support you've given him and the baby's mother, including rent. I'm certain her wedding cost less. I'm not suggesting you demand repayment, but he could use a reality check. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You raised their kid for years and now he's whinging you didn't pay for his wedding. Wow, that is some level of ungrateful. Sorry, he can't see the value in what you did for him. Not the asshole. You raised his kid during the first years and paid for. I'd call it even. Not the asshole. Your son is entitled and spoiled. He needs to grow up. It's time he became a man. Dot has been slandering us on Facebook, saying it's unfair how I'm paying for her wedding but not his. Every single post he makes on Facebook, leave a comment stating that you provided your son and DIL to be free childcare for 4 years while they attended university. Say you'd be more than happy to help pay for their wedding, as soon as they've repaid you for your nanny services, and any other services you provided, like housing, housekeeping, and food. Make a point to do this on every single post he makes. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You were unpaid childcare for the entire time he was in college. I don't know your situation, but let's say, most likely being conservative, that's 40 hours per week for 4 years. That comes out to 8,320 hours of unpaid childcare. Not sure where you live, but I googled average hourly rate for babysitting one kid in the US and the number that came up was $22.68 per hour. 8,320 hours x $22.68 per hour is roughly $190,000. So yeah, I think what your son meant to say was thank you for being an incredible parent and grandparent. Not the asshole. Your son sounds like a very ungrateful and immature person. Is he invited to his sister's wedding? I'd be really worried about him causing a scene at the event, since he has no problem trying to publicly humiliating you. Not the asshole. You have done more than enough. Isn't it a tradition for the bride's family to pay for the wedding? Tell him you'll pay for his wedding if he'll pay for your babysitting. Red flags everywhere on your son. When you do your estate planning, wills, trusts, etc., do not give him any authority over you or your finances. Not the asshole. Tell him you'll give him the money he spent for his wedding if he pays you back for raising his kid. Not the asshole. It's time for your son to grow up. Not the asshole. Some people are never satisfied. You could give him what he wants and there will always be something more you could have done. Be firm, don't bend, you got this. Ntar. Did he and the girlfriend pay you for watching their child? If they want to play what is more expensive, then play. Not the asshole. I wonder, did you cut back on childcare for your son once you realized you had been neglecting your daughter? The son sounds like he is bitter, and I wonder how much the change in you providing help factors in. Doesn't make you wrong, just curious if this is the reason or is connected. Not the asshole. If he's on Facebook counting your money, you should give him the rough number on the cost of raising his child while he grew up. He made a choice that unfortunately for him had a financial cost. You paid without question, so it is entitled of him to expect more. Your son may be older, but there is clearly a lot of maturing to be done with him. Not the asshole. You seem like a great dad. I was in a similar situation. My dad paid to help raise my sister's kid and also $30,000 to send my brother to rehab, but told me he wasn't going to help pay for my wedding because you should just elope and it's a waste of money. His money, his choice, but I've never forgotten that. Not the asshole. The old quote applies perfectly. Equal is everyone getting the same thing. Fair is everyone getting what they need to be successful. We will always try to be fair, but it won't always feel equal. Bust out Excel and make a list of all you've spent on his behalf and make sure to add the cost of the free childcare you provided. There isn't a chance in hell your daughter's wedding will come close. I would put my list on Google Docs and share a link to it on every single post. The ungrateful little writes. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Tell him if it bothers him that much you'll send an invoice for childcare. Then you'll pay him back what you owe for his wedding. Shrug. Medium light skin tone emoji modifier #.